Good afternoon. I am Carolyn Vermont, CEO for Habitat for Humanity of Coastal Fairfield County. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us this afternoon. I realize that some of you are on your lunch break, but do stay present on the screen if possible. As we move forward with today's presentation, please place your questions in the chat feature, and our presenter will respond to your questions after her presentation. A little bit about Habitat for Humanity. Habitat for Humanity of Coastal Fairfield County seeks to build community and improve lives by partnering with low-income families, volunteers, and donors to build decent and affordable homes in stable and welcoming neighborhoods. At Habitat for Humanity of Coastal Fairfield County, we are committed to creating a culture where diversity, equity, and inclusion are central to our mission. Since we started in 1985, we have dedicated 286 homes. In his 2024 proclamation for National Caribbean American Heritage Month, President Biden stated that during National Caribbean American Heritage Month, we celebrate the contributions and the diverse cultures of the millions of people across our nation with Caribbean heritage who have never let us walk away from our nation's most sacred values of opportunity and freedom. Caribbean Americans are dreamers and doers, always finding ways to push our country forward, reach new heights, and forge a more perfect union. From the Caribbean Americans who helped build our country from the ground up to those who have only just arrived, they have all believed in the possibilities our country has to offer and strengthen the diverse fabric of our nation. Above all, Caribbean Americans are leaders. They are our beloved doctors, nurses, teachers, athletes, artists, community organizers, entrepreneurs, and our service members and first responders who put their lives on the line to keep the rest of us safe. I am especially proud of the Caribbean Americans serving across my administration and working hard to sustain our democracy, including Vice President Kamala Harris, Secretary of Homeland Security Alejandro Mayorkas, and White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre. Thank you, President Biden. At this time, I am honored and excited to introduce our presenter, Habitat Board Member, Dr. Immaculata Cann. Dr. Cann is the Chief Nursing Officer for Silver Hill Hospital. She is the board-certified psychiatric and mental health registered nurse with a doctorate of nursing practice degree from Northeastern University. Dr. Cann also serves as lecturer, preceptor for Yale University Psychiatric Mental Health Nursing Graduate Entry Specialty in Nursing program. She has extensive nursing experience in leadership roles with focus on improving the mental and physical well-being of staff, with ultimate results being improved quality of patient care. Dr. Cann's responsibilities at SHH include developing and building trust among all nursing staff and building a cohesive team who are committed to providing exceptional, seamless, high-quality patient experience. She is sensitive to organizational dynamics and has partnered with many academic institutions, colleagues, and industry leaders to develop and improve nursing standards. Her doctoral study was focused on presenteeism, that employees' own mental and physical health is a key factor in workplace quality, productivity in the delivery of care, and patients' engagement in optimized clinical outcomes. Dr. Cann's goal at SHH is to foster an environment which supports shared governance. She is the mother of 4 children and has 6 grandchildren. She has a high degree of involvement in her community. She currently serves on several boards and commissions. She is a lifelong advocate for social justice for families and children. She has local and international experience developing, implementing education-focused policies and programs. Dr. Cann was a 2021 endorsed Democratic candidate for mayor of Stratford, Connecticut, and she's currently serving her fourth term as an elected member of the Connecticut State Democratic Party Committee. Dr. Cann is a 2024 Grand Marshal for Juneteenth of Fairfield County Incorporated. And I get to experience a lot of the work she's doing, not just with Juneteenth, but as for our community as a whole and also for Habitat. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Immaculate Cann.
Dr. Vermont, CEO of Vermont, there are no words for me to express gratitude for the opportunity to be here with everyone today and for the opportunity to share a little bit more about me. Because when you're in the public realm, nothing should stay behind closed doors. So this is another opportunity for me to do that, and also share a little bit of the work that Habitat is doing and the correlation of the work that Habitat is doing and how close to my heart that is. So it is really with tremendous honor for me to be a board member, part of the family of board member of Habitat. So what I'm going to do is share my my PowerPoint with everyone, and I hope that you can see it.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, so it's starting from the beginning. Again, I've been working at Silver Hill Hospital now for about 2 years. And I would like to take this chance to thank Dr. Andrew Gerber and the team at Silver Hill to give me the opportunity to work at Silver Hill. As Dr. Vermont indicated, I am the 2024 Grand Marshal of Juneteenth of Fairfield County. And I am proud to also say that I'm the first Haitian American in 32 years of Juneteenth of Fairfield County to serve in that role. So it feels that a lot is coming full circle in my journey, and and part of my journey that in terms of successes, because it's a continuous journey, so it's not over yet. I would like to share some of this, how I've gotten to be where I am. There are times when people are talking and presenting me and talking about my bio, I just go up and look up and say, thank you, God. Thank you for bringing me to where I am today. I didn't get here alone. It really required a teamwork effort and a village. So there are many personal attributes that one needs to achieve the American dream: resources, external support. And for me, I'll share some of the key ingredients that has helped me navigate through this life. And number one is spirituality. Number two is a strong support network. And my husband will be very upset with me if I don't give him a shout out. I'm not sure if he's here. He said he would participate. My husband of over 3 decades, Greg Cann, and love of my life. Not only a strong support system, but I would really categorize him also as one of my life coaches. My dad was very big on education, and I really took a lot of advantage of scholarships. One could say I'm a professional student because I have so many degrees, which I'm not going to go into now. But I think with the education and the continuous thirst for learning has really been impactful in my journey, and for me to also serve as the chief nursing officer for Silver Hill. Resilience and and really always persevering. Growing up, I've learned that My father would often say, I will teach you how to fish, but I will not continuously give you a fish. And that's not always bad, because my dad was a very successful person, but he believed, that one should really steer the course of their life. And I'm grateful for that. Cultural pride. Oftentimes people would hear me say that I'm a proud Haitian American, and I'm also now a proud first Haitian American Grand Marshal. Professional development, you're always growing, and it's a journey of life. So therefore, that's integral as part of your journey in life. Mentorship, financial literacy, mental health and well-being, always staying grounded. Advocacy, I would say, is part of my DNA, and I'm a lifelong advocate and part of many boards and commissions. And the last part of my ingredients is, having an entrepreneurial spirit. I have four beautiful children. If one say that I look like I'm 40 myself, because my oldest is 40 years old, I think over 40 years old now. If you say that I look like I'm 40, you're my new best friend. So I'm taking your number and I'm keeping in touch with you. But I'm learning a lot from my children, because they are all entrepreneurs, and I'm grateful for the work that they are doing and what I'm learning from them. So a little bit of introduction. I have, several flags here, and the flag is a symbol of freedom, and as we are celebrating um, our heritage, has Caribbean women, Caribbean individuals on this call, and Caribbean month as a whole. It's really significant, for us to really understand that a lot of us, particularly Haiti, have gone through, a lot, and the flag represents a symbol of freedom, and we are continuously working um, regarding, what freedom means, and also um, and staying true, to where our history has been, and continuously fighting for that. So the American dream I talked about, the flag in the middle is my where I was born in Haiti. And the last flag that you see is the Juneteenth flag. And I had the pleasure of meeting the person that actually was the designer and created the Juneteenth flag recently, on Ben Haith, at the Capitol. So I'm going to talk a little bit of a very key trailblazer. And what's wonderful is that this particular trailblazer um, has also a history or a relationship with Habitat for Humanity. So this is Dr. Opal Lee. Opal Lee is a retired teacher, a counselor, and an activist. And she really is the grandmother who led the movement of Juneteenth. So if today we could be celebrating Juneteenth, and we're celebrating freedom, and we're recognizing the significance of Juneteenth, we really owe it to this grandmother of Juneteenth and how she's led the way. On June 17, 2021, President Biden signed Senate Bill 475, making Juneteenth the 11th federal holiday. And in 2024, President Biden also awarded Dr. Lee with the Presidential Medal of Freedom. And this is the nation's highest civilian honor that one could receive. And the relationship that she has with Habitat is that on June 19th, 1939, 500 rioters, white rioters, vandalized and burned down her home. Dr. Lee was 12 years old at the time. And what she would talk about later on, and she recalled, and this statement came directly from her. And she said the fact that it happened when her home was burned down, the fact that it happened on the 19th day of June has spurred her into making people understand that Juneteenth is just not a festival. So Juneteenth is not just a parade. As a grand marshal, there's responsibilities that comes with that. And she really wanted to raise awareness regarding that. Yes, it's wonderful that we are celebrating Juneteenth through festivals and etc. But it is more than that, and we owe it to this particular trailblazer, for really making this a federal holiday where we can celebrate, but really advocate for our freedom. So how is she really involved with Habitat? Is that um, Habitat actually, her home that was destroyed, Habitat rebuilt that home again for her. And in June of 2024, you could see the flyer here that it was celebrated that she had the keys to her home. So I have three pictures here. I have the picture of the flyer informing everyone that that Habitat has, in collaboration with others, built a home for her at the same place where her home was burned down. And then I have a picture of people celebrating, and I actually enjoy going to these particular events when we have it here in Bridgeport, in Connecticut, celebrating home ownership for individuals. So what really Habitat has really demonstrated is the dedication to justice, and um, and giving Dr. Lee not just an opportunity for her to have a home, but to have a home in the space where it was burnt down. And so I'm going to take this opportunity to really thank, Habitat for all the work that they did, and for honoring Dr. Lee and making it right and bringing justice and being part of the movement of freedom. So this is a quote that I actually, my work at Silver Hill recently posted on social media, and it states, Juneteenth is an American holiday. It is not a Black holiday. It's an American holiday. And that transcends race, offering an opportunity to raise awareness, spread the message of hope. Together, we are stronger and we are more connected than we realize. And I truly believe in this. I believe that we are one. And what I'm going to say is, most recently, we celebrated our Juneteenth parade. And it's, the word Harambee is a Swahili word, and that means let's pull together, let's unite. It's a celebration event that often held in honor of recognition of the contributions and achievements of Black people. But it is, we are all one, and we really should be celebrating each other, every day that we have an opportunity. So another reason that I'm such a proud board member of Habitat is that the work that Habitat is doing in my very own country of birth, of Haiti. And I'll tell you a little bit, of the work that Habitat is doing. As we all know, Haiti is one of the poorest countries, and probably the poorest country in Latin America and the Caribbean. And Haiti is prone to a lot of devastation. In 2010, we had a terrible earthquake. In 2016, we had hurricanes. And in 2021, we had another earthquake. And it really destroyed a lot of homes. And there's an estimate about 580,000 homes destroyed during these particular hurricane. So climate change, we can see, is really impacting Haiti, quite a bit. But what I'm most proud about is that in 1984, Habitat really established themselves in Haiti, and they are really building homes, for people in Haiti. And according to the information that I was able to research and found out, is that since 1984, Habitat had served over 70,000 families with various housing solutions. So bravo to Habitat for the work that you are doing in Haiti. Thank you so much. And Habitat is not just really building homes. They are teaching people in terms of how to be more prepared and more resilient to hurricanes and floods and earthquake. They implemented this program called Build Back Safer, which is an awareness campaign to educate the community of safe construction practices. And what I'm very proud of, and you can see I'm proud of a lot of things that Habitat is doing, is that in 2023, Habitat launched a project called 100% Women Project, and that is really to increase employment in the construction sector for women. So those are all the reasons, and I think being part of this organization, being part of this family, and to see how we come together has been really just a pleasure to serve. So home ownership, this is one of the ownership ceremony that I participated most recently through Habitat for Humanity. And, I'm going to talk a little bit about my humble beginnings because, I own a home right now, but this journey didn't come very easy. It was, through trials, tribulations, resilience, and etc. that I'm proud to say that I'm a home owner. But, at one point in my life, I was a single mom and I needed assistance. And it's programs that such as Habitat, it wasn't Habitat specifically, but it's programs such as Habitat that was able to help me. And I was telling Dr. Vermont most recently, as I was talking to her before I conducted this presentation, which she wasn't even aware that my husband and I, just before we bought the house where we're currently living for the past 31, 32 years now, we had a very small apartment and we had 2 bedrooms, very small apartment in Success Co-op in Bridgeport. And that particular apartment housed 5 of us. We had 3 children and myself and my husband. And when I became pregnant with my baby right now, she's 30 years old, and we said, boy, no, we can't. we have to do something, and that's how we were able to purchase our own home, the home that we are currently living for the last 31 years. But home ownership, point that I'm making is that it's a journey, and the work that Habitat for Humanity is doing to really helping individuals realize that dream is just unbelievable. So I'm going to take a few minutes to talk a little bit. I talk about life coaches and role models that I have in my life, and it's a continuous journey. And this man that you see here, I'm pointing here, his name is Dr. Andrew Gerber, and he's the one that has given me the opportunity to serve as the chief nursing officer for Silver Hill Hospital, a very prominent hospital here in New Canaan. And it's just been a pleasure to serve in this capacity. And I spoke a little bit of my husband, Gregory Cann, who's just been one of my rock and my role models. And this is Kathleen Callahan. I'm very involved politically, and this is someone that in the political arena, has been a role model and a guide. So, the point that I'm making here is that as we go through life, we have individuals that are impacting us and that are continuously impacting our lives and that are continuously making a difference in our lives. And this is Deborah Cavanis, another local trailblazer, and she is the president of Juneteenth. And this individual here is the vice president of Juneteenth. And without them, and I've known both of them for many years, particularly Joanne Butler, that I've known for numerous years, um, key individuals that are really positively impacting my life. And Dr. Vermont, CEO Vermont, I couldn't help but put this beautiful picture of us. And we've taken a lot of pictures, but that night was really a memorable night for me, and how Dr. Vermont has positively impacted my journey. And it's really important for me to really recognize those individuals that are making a difference in our lives. So, it's important for me as I talk about Juneteenth that I also raise awareness regarding other individuals in our community. I indicated the role of a Grand Marshal is not just to look pretty and go to parties and wave or go to festivals and etc. It's a fun job, but it's a job. And Dr. Lawrence, she is a director. She's a breast surgeon, and she's a director at Hartford Healthcare. 2 years ago, she was the Grand Marshal, and she's actually from the Caribbean herself, and she is from Jamaica. And I've learned tremendous from her when she was Grand Marshal. And Dr. Smith, who passed the baton over to me, and I believe last year he was also one of the speakers here, and he talked about his humble beginnings. And you could see a theme here. A theme is that we didn't get where we are, individuals in very high level positions, without the help of many. And when Dr. Lawrence was the Grand Marshal, she raised awareness around breast health. And when Dr. Smith was the Grand Marshal, he raised awareness around education. And for me, as the Grand Marshal of Juneteenth right now, I'm raising awareness around mental health, and particularly around our youth, because I want to take this opportunity also to talk about our youth in the minority community. And what we're really finding is that there's staggering statistics that in terms of our youth dying by suicide is really getting high. And it's really important for me to highlight that, because with all of us being here in this room, in this space, I believe that we all have a duty, for us to be very involved in our community, but also for us to talk to our youth and find out what's going on in their lives. I was a single mom, like I said, for many years, and I had a network around me that was able to get me to where I am today. But nowadays, you have social media, you have so many other areas that are impacting our youth. And it's important for me to really raise awareness that this is really an area of major concern in our life right now, and the importance, of us paying attention to our youth. So I know that I only had a few minutes to talk, and so at this point, I'm going to stop my presentation to give people an opportunity to ask questions, and I hope I didn't burn too much of my time, Dr. Vermont.
No, Dr. Cann, you actually, did you want to, it looked like you had some more slides. Did you want to finish those, or you're good where you are?
Well, a couple of other people that I want to raise awareness is, I talked about Opal Lee and the work that she's done. In 32 years ago, this is Miss Cynthia Griffin. 32 years ago, Miss Cynthia Griffin is the person who actually started Juneteenth here in Connecticut. And according to her story, and as she indicated, is that she saw a newspaper article that was talking about Opal Lee and the work that Opal Lee was doing, raising awareness around Juneteenth. So she started raising awareness around Juneteenth. And it started out with 20 people. She had a very small parade the first year. And now Juneteenth has really taken off in the state of Connecticut. And we have many towns, especially this year, we had the town of Shelton for the first time that has committees. Stamford also form a committee, Juneteenth committee. So you have various towns forming committees, but I'm proud to say that Juneteenth of Fairfield County is for 32 years, we're the one really here in Fairfield County who really started raising awareness around Juneteenth. And we owe it to our godmother, So Cynthia Griffin is the godmother of Juneteenth of Connecticut. And this is another picture of our current president, of Deborah Cavanis. And Deborah Cavanis herself was Grand Marshal, of Juneteenth. And under her leadership, actually, she has increasingly really having the grand marshals have specific work that they need to do as grand marshals, and has Opal Lee did. This is the continuation of the work that Deborah Cavanis is doing, that really educating our community that Juneteenth is just not all about having a barbecue and having a festival or having a parade. There's much more to that. And the role of, and she's really defining, the role of the Grand Marshal. And, talking about history makers, Baby Moore Campbell, this is a picture of Baby Moore Campbell, the picture that says the history makers. And she is a key figure in the area of raising awareness around mental illness for people in the minority community. Baby Moore Campbell, through her advocacy work, has really lobbied Congress. And right now we could say that the month of July is actually Mental Health Awareness Month for the minority community. And many people are not aware that we have our own month within the minority community to raise awareness. And we owe that to Baby Moore Campbell. A little bit about Baby Moore Campbell is that she got involved with mental illness because her own daughter was ill, with mental illness. And that's really how she got involved. And what she recognized is that the minority community was not receiving the level of care that they needed to receive because her own daughter was not receiving that care.
Right.
So she really did a lot of work, and she did a lot of advocacy work. And now July is the Baby Moore Campbell month and Minority Mental Health Awareness Month. So, these are all trailblazers, and I stand on their shoulders. And I stand on the shoulders of Dr. Vermont and many of you here that's in this room, in this space. And again, a lot of us who within the Caribbean, minority women and men, we would not be where we are, especially those of us who are in key high-level leadership position, if it wasn't because of these trailblazers, setting the path for us. So every day I really thank them. And this is the spirituality part of me, of really always living a life of gratitude, a life of appreciation. And when Dr. Vermont called me and said, would you mind being a guest speaker? And I said, oh my gosh, I don't have time to put together something. And I immediately say yes first, because I don't turn anything down these days. And then I said, we have to talk because I'm not sure how much time I have to put something together. And she said, just be you. Just be you. Just talk about your life story and how you are able to be the chief nursing officer, and what are the ingredients that you can share with people, and be an inspiration to others, and especially inspiration to children, which for me is very important, especially our minority kids, and knowing how there's really a higher incidence of death by suicide, these days.
Yeah. So Dr. Cann, I do see a question in the chat.
Yeah.
So if we can move right into that, if that's okay with you.
That's absolutely great.
Okay, let's see.
I could stop sharing.
Oh, I look like you did, or
I did.
someone.
I
Okay.
did that for
Okay,
you.
Oh, thank
okay,
you.
thank
Thank
you.
you
You're
so much.
welcome.
Okay, so the first one is a general one. I am a recruit volunteer for Red Cross, and I am interested to hear how Red Cross can engage Caribbean community around community volunteerism. Any ideas, suggestions are appreciated.
Absolutely.
I will jump in first to
Mhm.
say I am a member of the West Indian American Association of Greater Bridgeport. Also, we have one of our past presidents, Pam Williams, is on also. So you can reach out to me and I can certainly connect you with our members. And Dr. Cann, I don't know if you wanted to add anything to
I,
that.
I just wanted to add that um, most recently, I've really partnered with Red Cross, particularly nursing students. I've partnered with University of Bridgeport to raise awareness around the need for people to give blood. And and I think right now I'm also due to give blood. We have a low percentage of blood in the blood bank, and we have, particularly around the minority community, a lot of people with sickle cell illnesses and the need to give blood. So everyone here in this space, I'm going to ask you for a favor, is to please give the Red Cross blood because there's a tremendous need for that.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you very much for that word of encouragement. Thank you.
Absolutely. We all in this together.
Yes.
Yeah, yes. Okay, next question. Dr. Cann, thank you for your leadership and sharing your time, talent, and resources. The coastal Fairfield County area is better off because of you. As a servant leader, serving on political committees, um, nonprofit boards, and Juneteenth Marshal, what inspires you to do all that you do?
Well, I get up every day and I said there's not enough hours in the day. And I think what inspires me is, and I spoke to Dr. Vermont about this, is really my humble beginnings. Has a young mother, and I know the trials and the tribulations and the challenges that I went through. So that's an inspiration for me, to make a difference in the lives of others. And I also need to really give my father, who was a huge part of my life at a very young age, um, taught me the importance of community, the importance of giving back. And when I said that it's really part of my DNA, it really truly is part of my DNA. Um, there are times my husband will say, if you're not careful, you're not going to have time to sleep because you'll say yes to everything. And I tend to. But I think when I look back and I saw that the village of individuals who came around me and who believed in me, you know, it, it's inspiring, um, but it's also, I believe, a duty, for me to do the same for others. So
Okay,
that's an inspiration.
thank you. So now a follow-up to that question. So you talked about what inspired you. The next question is, given your extensive involvement in the community, how do you prioritize your efforts and decide where to focus your energy for maximum impact?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. Um, I think all of us here, there are things in our lives that has greatly impacted us, and that we we say that this is part of our mission, that we need to do this. So if you look at the areas that I tend to focus, mental health because that's my area of expertise. I'm a board psychiatric nurse with a doctorate degree. So mental health is very important, and particularly um, mental illness around children. Housing, I talked a little bit of my journey, with housing, and probably why now I'm part of the board, and when I was given the opportunity to be part of Habitat for Humanity, because I experience what these individuals are experiencing, working with children, being politically involved, because what I've learned at a very young age is that if you are not at the table, then others will make decisions for you. And it is so important, that we are politically engaged and that we are politically advocating for our community, because when you're not at the table, that's a disservice. I'm going to take this opportunity also to talk about a little bit about the importance of voting, regardless of your political affiliation, because I'm part of the League for Women Voters. So there's no affiliation there, and the work that I do with various other committees, such as the National Coalition of 100 Black Women and the National Council of Negro Women, where we very much involved in our rights of voting, because we know as minorities the struggle that we've been through. So I think a lot of the prioritizing is to see what is it that I bring to the table that I can really have a positive impact in this particular area. And I think those are the areas that I tend to focus, because if I'm going to come to the table to really join an organization, I need to be moving the needle. And that's really how I prioritize. But it can be difficult, can be a challenge, because you want to do everything. It's just not possible, to do everything. But I think you have to have a passion, and you have to believe in the mission, and also the vision of where this particular organization is going. And we all have missions in life.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next question. As a mother of a tween girl of color, what are your words of wisdom, insight on how best to support her mental health as we transition into adolescence?
Yeah. Being a mom of 4 and having 6 grandchildren, I don't know if I mentioned that, which I'm just feeling so blessed. Building relationships, with your children is important, and right now we all lead very busy lives. We all have so many competing things going on in our lives, and it can be very difficult. And I think for me, what has made a difference in the lives of my children and my grandchildren is the relationship that you build with them, and that's key. And I think nowadays there's not enough of that, with children having, instead of uh, you in one room and your child is in another room watching television, watch television together, watch something together and talk about it, or cook together, or take a walk together. And the more that you are engaged in the life of your child, the more that you can give them the support, that they need, and also meet their needs, because that's very important.
Okay, great, thank you. Hi there. Thank you, Dr. Cann, for all of the important work that you're doing. I am truly inspired. I'm originally from Barbados, born and raised. I'm a mental health therapist here in Manchester, Connecticut. I am wondering how I can connect with and engage with the Caribbean community. Most of the work I do consists of trauma work with Caribbean and African diaspora. Thank you.
Yeah, did you want to talk a little bit perhaps of within the community of Caribbean community that this person can be engaged, or did you want me to talk about just focusing on mental health?
I would like if you could focus on the mental health piece. That would be great.
I would say I'll be more than happy to share my phone number, because there are various organizations out there, and they all will serve there are organizations that are focusing only on children, organizations that focuses only on adults, but organizations that focuses on specific areas of mental illness. And it sounds like trauma care is the area that you would focus. I would love to have a conversation with you. And I'm more than happy to share my phone number, and I could put it in the chat, or I can actually, I'll just say it right now because it's public record. So my phone number, if anyone would like to reach me, is 203-521-2750. I would definitely like to have a more, I would like to know more of what your area of interest is, and then for me to perhaps team you up with different organizations that are serving the community as it relates to mental illness.
Thank you so much. I would really appreciate that.
Absolutely. And where I work at Silver Hill Hospital, I'm always looking for volunteers.
Okay, thank you. And this one is a comment. Dr. Cann, thank you for your leadership and your commitment and dedication to the communities that you have served with distinction. That's from Attorney Donald Smart, but that represents all of us. We all feel that way about you. Okay, next one. Dr. Cann, you mentioned that one of your focus is mental health and suicide prevention in youth. Are there any programs in Bridgeport through Bridgeport schools or nonprofits that you think are helpful in that area?
Oh, absolutely. I actually do have a list, which is why I gave my number to the last person who asked about how to direct them navigate through to do volunteer. I have a list of different organizations, that you could really get involved, and I would love to share, that list with you.
Okay, great. Okay. Again, another comment. Thank you for this wonderful, informative presentation. And here we have Dr. Cann. Thank you for being a presence in the recognition and celebration of our students' academic achievement. How do you prioritize education and mentoring in your efforts to strengthen our communities?
Yeah. So, I believe that if you are making a difference in 1, 2 lives, you're making an impact. And I know that Dr. Vermont, she's a mentor herself, and I recently saw a picture of you, Dr. Vermont, with your mentee.
Oh, thank you.
Media. And for me, that's when I say I'm in good company, because the company that I'm part of are people who are really making positive impact on the lives of others. I'm actually mentoring two young ladies right now. They are both in college, and there's this particular program called Live Girl, Live Girl, and I highly recommend, if you would like to get involved in supporting a young individual and being a mentor, please give Live Girl a call, and support a young person, because when you're making a difference, 1 or 2 lives, you are doing tremendous work. And, I'm a living testament to that, because, I have mentors. Even right now, I still have mentors, but it's really those individuals in my early life, that mentored me, that were there for me to be able to be sitting where I am today. So in terms of prioritizing, what I like to prioritize based on what the need of that particular person is. And again, am I going to be a positive influence in their lives? Do I have the resources, for that individual? And that's really how I prioritize, Because if I'm not able, if someone wants to be a lawyer, I would say Attorney Smart is the person to team this person with, if some, so it really depending on the direction that individual is going, it would like in their journey. And that's how I prioritize who I would take under my wings, because if I'm not going to be a positive impact and open doors, and that's part of the job of a mentor. Part of a job of a mentor is to really open doors for individuals. And if I don't have the ability to open those doors, then I need to really try to find someone within my network who could do that for that person. So I hope I answered that question, because that's a very important question.
Okay, so we only have a few more minutes, so I'm going to share one more question, and I'm going to apologize to everyone that we can't get to all of the other ones. But this one is, thank you for your valuable presence within the community. As a healthcare professional, also so involved in your community, how do you notice the social detriments of health, such as access to affordable housing, affect minorities of the community?
Yeah, that's heavy. And that's where all of us come in, for us to do our part, because there is a tremendous need, whether if it's housing, education, mental health. We know the disparities that our minority communities are experiencing. And it really requires, when I put up that quote earlier in my slide, in terms of that we are all in this together, we are really all in this together, because it's a problem, and that problem is, everywhere. So to one question is, wow, when do you have the time? That's probably one of the reasons I'm involved in so much, because I understand all the disparities. I understand all the struggles, a lot of people are experiencing, and probably why I'm so involved in my community, in all these boards and commission. But it really is a responsibility of every single person on this call to get involved and to make a difference. Because if we're all doing that, that will be significant in terms of how we can change the trajectory of the lives of the young individual growing up.
Okay, thank you so much. This has just been so great. I hate to see it conclude. You've shared such great information.
Well,
And
President Cabinet wrote something. I don't know if you have time to. Oh, she's the one that wrote that question. Hello, President Cabinet.
okay. Yeah, so thank you. Sister Deborah Cavanis, President of Juneteenth of Fairfield County. Thank you so much for being here. And I'm going down to her question. Oh, she has a pretty long question there. Yes. So at this time, and she said, thank you for your service. You have been an extraordinarily grand marshal and have represented Juneteenth of Fairfield County well. As a leading healthcare professional in the state of Connecticut, you're aware there has always been a disparity in the healthcare services and resources available to people of color in marginalized communities. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and resources. And thank you also, Sister Deborah Cavanis, for all that you do. And thank you, everyone. Thank you to Habitat board members, Amy Gillis, Tasha Hamlin, Dr. Gomez. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule. Thank you all for joining us for this important conversation for National Caribbean American Heritage Month. I'm a Caribbean also from Jamaica, West Indies. So we've been celebrating all month, celebrating our culture. But thank you all. And so the next time we will gather for this forum will be for Hispanic Heritage Month, and certainly we'll get a notice out to all of you with that date and that speaker, and hopefully you'll all be available to join us. So again, I apologize that I can't get to all your comments and all your questions, but this was such an engaging conversation, great presentation. I love how Dr. Cann tied in the history of Juneteenth and Habitat. You know, the story about Dr. Opal Lee, and, you know, just after all she went through and was able to get into a Habitat home, you know, was just so rewarding and fulfilling, and makes me even more proud of the work we do at Habitat. So thank you all. Thank you for spending your lunch break with us. I know my soul was fed, so I'm sure your soul was fed also. So
Thank you, Carolyn. Thank
You're
you, Dr. Cann.
Thank you. God bless you all.
God bless you.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Carolyn.
Thank you for joining,
You're
everyone.
welcome.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very
Bye.
much.
So much.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, Tamara.
Of course.
Thank you, Dr. Vermont.
Thank
Dr.
you, Dr. Cann.
Have a good day.
You too, you too.
I have a quick question, if I may. It's
Yes.
really quick.
You have time,
Um,
Dr. Cann?
Is it for me?
Just in general, it could be for Dr. Carolyn too. I
Okay.
literally came across the Facebook event last week. And like I mentioned, I'm a mental health therapist, I'm Caribbean. And so my focus population is on my Caribbean people. I want to give back. And so how can I stay in touch? Like, how can I get connected? Is there a newsletter? Somehow, like I said, you know, I saw it on Facebook last week.
Yeah, for the Caribbean community?
Yeah, and to you guys.
Okay, so, well, you go ahead first, Dr. Cann, and then I'll give her my
Yeah,
info.
so there's an organization that I just started working with, and it's here in New Canaan.
Mhm.
Uh, Something about working against racism, and I cannot remember the exact name. And this is a woman, you know, doing exactly, you know, what you're talking about. Actually, the talk that I did on loneliness, she was the one who organized it, you know,
Okay.
one of the Harlem Globe Trouters.
Okay.
And her name is Fatu. You know, I'll be more than happy to you know, share her information with you, which is why I gave my number,
Yeah,
because I don't have all that information right here.
absolutely. Absolutely.
But you know, but maybe too, that could be something that you could you know, spearhead, you know,
Yeah.
sometime, because we don't have, I don't think we have something specific to Caribbean.
Oh,
You know, so that could be something that if you're passionate about, which
yeah.
is why I all that it's really all our duty. You know, we all have to get involved, because this is a very big area that minority individuals don't really have the resources. They don't have enough
Absolutely.
resources. And
Absolutely.
it's really all our responsibility to be involved and to do our part, you know,
Okay.
that. But President Cavanagh also wrote her email here, and President Cavanagh is just, you know, just full of resources in the community. And
Mhm.
between her and Dr. Vermont, I have to say, I think they know everybody. I don't know if there's a person that they don't know.
Well, I'm the first to admit that she knows more people than I do.
I don't know about that.
But the funny thing about it is people get us confused when we're out.
Yeah.
I was at church one Sunday and they thanked Carolyn for coming to the service today. I just nodded my head and said, thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Yes, it was, there was another incident at a church where I was scheduled to speak, and the moderator, you know, said everything, and please welcome Miss Deborah Cavanagh. And so I just sat there and smiled, and then finally somebody went up to him and said, Carolyn Vermont. He was like, oh, I'm so sorry, I knew that. I don't know why I said her name.
And I also think at the Grand Marshal's Ball, didn't somebody try to give you a box for me?
Yes, yes. At
did.
the end of the ball, he had some stuff, and he's like, Deborah, where do you want me to put this? I just stood there smiling, and Joanne was there, and she just smiled also.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, yes.
Al, I applaud you for really asking how you can get involved, because this is really a tremendous need.
Mhm. Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
and I would love to connect you with Fatu here in New Canaan that's doing some work. And President Cavaness also gave you her email.
Yeah.
And I'll also look to see other networks, that I can, connect you with, because we need people like you to be involved
Mhm.
and engaged in our community if
Yeah.
we want to change the lives and improve the lives of our children and the minority community as a whole.
Yeah. I get a lot of referrals because I have a private practice here in Manchester. I get a lot, tons of referrals for those individuals needing someone who is Caribbean. And so I've been working on putting together a peer support program just in general, to help that need, because I'm only one person, but again, it's so God is amazing, because I literally saw this last week and I
Yes.
just signed up. I've never heard of you all. And I'm
Yeah.
like, you know what? I
Wow.
have to be here. So yeah.
I'm really happy. And
Yeah.
thank you for serving our community.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
All
Well,
right. I know you. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I put my email in, cvermont@habitaccfc.org.
Okay.
That's in the chat. And I've also put wiaagb.org. That's our West Indian American Association of Greater Bridgeport.
Oh,
Our focus is on education, scholarships, and mentorships. Of course, we do fun things also, such as July 20th is our Caribbean Jerk Fest.
oh, I saw that.
Yes.
I
So,
have attended before.
okay. So, that's another organization
Okay.
that you can get involved with.
All right. Thank you so much. I know that you all have to go. I do as well because I have a client, but it was really an honor to be here. I truly feel inspired. So I'm gonna keep the connection going and I will reach out.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right.
Everybody,
And
have a great afternoon.
You
thank
too.
you, President Cavaness, for joining. I appreciate
Yes,
you.
thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Have a good
All
day.
right.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay,
Oh,
we're gonna
okay.
log off. All right.
All righty.
Mr. Deborah, take care. We're gonna log off now.
You too.
Have a
Okay,
good day.
you too.
Thank you.
Okay.